Everybody, this is JL doing another video on jealousy and retroactive jealousy in particular. So that's what I really want to deal with because you don't really see a lot of information out there or help out there when it comes to retroactive jealousy. I did a video, I'm going to put the link below, detailing exactly what retroactive jealousy is. In this video, I want to give you 7 tools that you can use to either beat retroactive jealousy, come close to beating retroactive jealousy, or at least making sure that jealousy, whether it's retroactive or just severe in general, doesn't rob you of something that's good for you, like a wholesome, fulfilling, and loving relationship with someone who really cares about you. So, with that being said, I'm going to jump right into it. Oh, but before I do, make sure that you get a copy of my latest book, which is What She Taught Me. And it's all about men evolving to the next level. So it has a lot to do with this as well. Because when you can evolve to the next level of being, things like this don't get in the way of you experiencing love the way that you should. All right? Okay, so jump right into it. Number 1, stop feeding the beast. This is important because especially with people who have a compulsion when it comes to um, drumming up these thoughts when it comes to jealousy. Because what we do is we create this whole movie in our minds of everything that happened with the details that was given to us. And that jealousy and that compulsion drives us to look for details to fill in the holes. And so you go to your partner to have a discussion about this again and again and again because you're kind of dumpster diving for more details to fill in those spaces. The problem is that these details are hurting you. The whole story in your head that you're creating is hurting you. And you're just adding to it. And the more pain you add to it, the harder it is to stay in that relationship because at some point it's easier to just walk away from the whole thing than to deal with the mental anguish that comes along with these visuals that you've created in your mind. So number 1, stop feeding the beast, stop bringing it up, stop talking about it. Just leave it alone because you're just adding more fuel to the fire that's gonna burn your relationship down. Okay. Number 2, what's in your head is not real. The thing about memory is it's very faulty. So even the way that your partner remembers things is most likely not as it necessarily happened. So now you're filling in the blanks in your head and you're creating, especially if you're really jealous. You just have to admit this to yourself if you're really jealous. And if you're compulsive, you're filling in the blanks with the worst case scenario. So what's in your head is completely opposite of what actually happened, And, you can find this out because if you tell your partner what's actually in your head, they probably look at you like you're crazy. So 9 times out of 10, what's in your head, 10 times out of 10, what's in your head is not what happened, but 9 times out of 10, you're making something way worse than what it was because you're making something to hurt you. And that's the whole point. You're trying to push something away that you're afraid of, okay? Because it's attached to a deeper trauma and you don't want to feel that trauma again. That's what it's really all about. So just keep that in mind. What you're creating is you're creating it to hurt you so that you can push this good thing away from you. Okay. All right. Number 3, acknowledge within yourself your hypocrisy. What does that mean? That means that if you really are honest with yourself about your own sexual history, especially if you're a guy, because you have certain allowances and privileges when it comes to sexuality, you probably have experienced a lot more than the person who you're judging, right? You've probably done a lot more. So just keep in mind, it's like, you have to check yourself sometimes. And ladies, I would encourage you, and this can go the other way around, to kind of check the guys. Like, okay, but wait a minute, haven't you done the same thing before? Sometimes you got to kind of put that mirror back on people and reflect them so that they'll see that they're being hypocritical and ridiculous. All right. Another thing, number 4, is stop putting your partner on a pedestal. And that's really what you're doing. You're judging that person based on what you think they should be on this pedestal that you have them on, because you have them above you. That's the thing. You have this person above you, and because there is something in their past that doesn't match where you have them on that pedestal, you judge them for it, because that is that person's position, that pedestal. And if they're not matching that, then something's wrong with them, and you judge them harshly for it. So keep in mind that we're dealing with human beings here. We're all just animals, and we all have a right to humanity in our own path. So, take that person down from the pedestal, and be equal with them, and see them as a human being, as not anything bigger or greater than you. Even though you're both great and both amazing and both special, take that person down from the pedestal. It doesn't do anybody any good to have their partner on a pedestal. It's always a recipe for disaster, always. All right. The intrusive thoughts that you have, wait until you share those with your partner. And this is really, I think, valuable information for you to take in. The thoughts that you have in your mind are your own. They're all yours. Nobody else knows them until you share them. Once you share those intrusive and hurtful thoughts with somebody else, then it becomes real to them. It becomes a part of their reality. And at that point, you have no control over it. It's in their mind. So if you say something, like let's say an intrusive thought comes into your mind about their past and how you're feeling about it, and you just, you tell them how you feel about it. I feel disgusted by the fact that you did this, and this is pissing me off, and how could you do, like, these intrusive thoughts that you're having, you give that to them, they're gonna feel that, and now you're hurting the person who you have decided to be with. You decided to be with this person. This person makes you feel good. You love this person, and you're taking something that was just gonna come and go, and you're giving it to them, and you have no control over whether or not it comes and goes. Once you give that intrusive thought to your partner, it could be the very thing that withers away your relationship. And keep in mind, like I said in the earlier video, the one thing that women don't like is an insecure man. And when you keep giving them these intrusive thoughts, it's inevitable at some point they're going to see you as weak. And a woman does not like a weak man. So keep the intrusive thoughts to yourself and let them pass, because they will, which brings me to number 6. Feelings and thoughts are visitors. Don't let a visitor fuck up your house. All right, that's rule number 1. It's like you can be comfortable, but don't fuck up my house. Thoughts and visitors come, or thoughts and feelings, they come and they go. They're just like clouds. They come and they go. And a lot of the thoughts and feelings that you have that you know are gonna come and go, you have to let them come and go. If you react from them when they come, then you have a whole other mess to deal with, because now another person is involved in that. Let it come, deal with it, feel it, think about it, do whatever you have to do, and then let it go, because it will pass. It'll pass because you know that you're with somebody who is good for you. And that love that that person shows you and gives you will make that cloud go away, will make that thought go away, will make that feeling go away. They don't have to address the issue. You don't have to talk about it. The way that they love you alone will make you see how ridiculous you're thinking, and it will make you really move past the feelings that you're having. Seventh and last, and I think this is probably the most important piece, is to acknowledge the conditioning and the trauma that you have been subjected to that is causing this. Because the reality is that this is all about you. This really isn't about the person who you're with. I mean, this is their past. This is behind them. This is about you. You have an issue with it because of some kind of trauma or some conditioning in your own past, and you have to deal with that. And the reason you have to deal with that is because if you don't, then that will always stand in your way of experiencing the connection and the love and the relationship that you deserve. So it is imperative. I mean, you're watching this video right now. If you've made it to this point, it's because this is important to you. Deal with that part of yourself that's hurt. Deal with that part of yourself that's been conditioned so that you can experience the love and connection that you deserve. I hope that for you. I wish that for you. And I hope that this advice helps you out. In the meantime, if you need any help from me personally, you can email me, authorjo4@gmail.com. Happy to help. But I'm not free. I'm not free, and I'm worth it. I'm not cheap, and I'm worth it. And I also have a book that you can order. You can order it from whatshetaught.me.book.com. I'll put the link below, and you can also find it on iBooks and Kindle and anything like that. I think that you'll really like it. It's a book written for men, but I think that women will get a lot out of it as well. All right, so I hope this helps. Until next time, everybody, take care.